Hi, my name is Royce with In-Depth Utility Solutions, and today I'd like to talk to you about the Vivax Metrotech VM560 pipe and cable locator. In this locator, you're going to get a carry bag, you're going to get a receiver, a 1-watt transmitter, conductive leads with the cable wrap, and a ground rod. Typically, who uses this kit will be construction crews of a utility company or contractors working for a utility company. We will also be going over the inductive mode, the conductive mode, and also fault locating. Let's go over the features of the VM560 locator kit. In the receiver has a peak response. It's a peak antenna in the blade here. If we look at it has ABS plastic. If we were going to, this is the on button. If we cut it on, if you notice, it has a battery indicator. It has a frequency indicator. It has this big number represents how much signal is coming to the antennas. The bar graph also represents how much signal is coming into the antenna. And then down here, this little bar indicates how far the gain is open. We have a push button control, and also we can check the depth in 512 hertz and 8 kilohertz in this receiver. This receiver also has 480 hertz and 60 hertz passive mode. Okay, so that's the VM560 receiver. The transmitter has an inductive mode where we can just lay it on the ground and induce signal into the ground. They have some instruction here on the side so you can kind of see how to use it. The transmitter will broadcast out 4 different settings: 512 hertz, 8 kilohertz, and 480 kilohertz. And then it has this 8 kilohertz fault locating mode for going out and finding shorts on cables. It has an on-off key. It has a low setting and high setting power output, and a volume control. The cap right here covers up where we put our conductive leads or our inductive clamp. And so we can take the leads and plug it up in here. Okay, so now we're going to locate this cable using the induction clamp. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this induction clamp, we're going to wrap it around this 4-inch conduit. So first I'm going to plug it into the transmitter. And then I can take the clamp and I'm going to wrap it around the conduit that I want target line. And then I'm going to cut on the receiver, the transmitter. And I'm going to select a frequency. 512 is too low to use the induction clamp, so we're going to use 8 kilohertz. Right now it's on low power, and I'm going to turn the volume lower so it's easier for you to hear me. And now what I like to do is take the transmitter and kind of move it away from the way I think the cable's running. It doesn't matter how I put the transmitter, lay it down on the ground, because all the energy is going through the cable and inducing onto the cable in the pipe. Now I'm going to cut my receiver on by hitting the on-off key. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a semicircle around this conduit to see where it's heading. So I'm going to come around here. And so I didn't pick up anything. So I'm going to increase the gain. And then what we're going to hear. Now right now, if you look at the numbers in the screen, in the bar graph, it is pegged out. Meaning that it's all the way over. The highest the bar graph and the numbers will go is 99. So it's a semi-automated gain, so I'm going to hit the negative key one time and it should drop it to about 50%. Now, once I've done that, now I can move try and see if I can find the line again. And move it a little bit. Now what you see is it's going down. So I passed it up, and I saw 50, so it's right in here. So I'm going to go down, straight down. As you notice, the number built up a little bit because it went closer to the ground. Now, since I'm sitting, I have the best locate. Now I'm going to rotate the receiver to see the direction that it's going. So I'm rotating it. And as you notice, the numbers are dropping, and I'm looking for the lowest number. Notice how the volume dropped out also as the numbers got lower. So I'm going to go right. Now it's building back up. So right in here is the direction that it's running. So I'm going to place my foot just to give me an idea of the way the line is running. When I turn the receiver, now I need to start walking in this direction. So I just pick it up. Versus the bar graph's going to go. You notice how the sound is getting a little bit quieter because I've got further away from the target line. And now we're locating that line out. Notice how I'm cutting the cable in half. And then once I get it so far, if I want to check the depth. So I'm going to once again get a location. What I want you to see is that the number is not as high as it was before. It was around 50. And there's two reasons that this could take place. We've gotten further away from the transmitter, so we've lost a little bit of signal as we've walked away from it. But also, it could be that the cable's gotten deeper into the ground, so there's a further distance that the signal has to travel into the antennas. So we're going to hit this target button right here and define the depth. So I want to be straight up and down, and I'm going to tap it, and it says 2 foot 1 inches. We'll do that one more time, 2 foot 1. So I can make a mark if I choose to. I want to see the direction it's running by rotating it once again, maybe. So right in here, I got it marked, and now I can lift it up. If I want to, I can increase the gain to let more signal into it. And then I just keep walking. And you can continue doing this until you've finished your locate. You go over how far you feel like you need to go to make your next locate. I'm going to show you how to do connective locating on the VM560 line locator. So what we're going to do is that we're going to take this, lay this receiver to the side. We're going to come in and take the ground rod, and we're going to try to find a good soil to stick it in. I'd like to prefer to go at a 90 degree, although in this location I have a lot of asphalt in the way. I'm going to take the connector here, plug it up into the transmitter, set it, and then I'm going to take the black lead and place it on the ground, connect it to the ground, the red lead to the trace wire, and then I'm going to turn the transmitter on. And now I have 3 frequencies here. I have 512, 8, and 480. Let me turn the volume down. And I'm going to cover it up so you can hear me. And so right now it's on 512 hertz. And I'm going to, usually I find that for trace wire, 512 hertz can work, but if you have any kind of resistance, it may not run very well for you. I've had great success most of the time using 8 kilohertz, so I'm going to switch it over to 8. And then right here it's showing low power, but I could also select the high power of the transmitter. But I feel like on this trace wire that low power is probably going to do me a good job. So I'm going to take this transmitter and I'm going to move it out of the way. And while we're here, why do we have 3 different frequencies? Well, frequencies react differently in different situations. So if we have a lot of resistance on the cable or on a pipe, we might find that 480 kilohertz will run a lot better. But when we go to a really high frequency, the chances are that it could also jump off onto something else. So that would be using 480 when you're directly connected, only if you have to use it because you can't get it to run in the other 2 lower frequencies. And what I find with the 512, a lot of times it's too low, and if there's any resistance, it doesn't like to run. Where 8K is a medium frequency, and it usually have great success with it going down the cable. So now I'm going to take the receiver, I'm going to cut it on, so it comes on, and right now it's in 60 hertz, and so I want to change that frequency to 512, excuse me, 8 kilohertz. So I'm going to hold the target button down for about 2 seconds. It didn't hold it down long enough. Hold it down for 2 seconds, and it's going to go into a frequency mode, and I can use the plus and minus keys to toggle until I can change and select the frequency I want. Now if you notice that 8 kilohertz is picking up the signal from the transmitter here, I'm going to hit the target button. Now I'll have it selected. If you see down here in the screen, it's selected. Now right now the transmitter is putting out a lot of signal since we're really close by, and the receiver is pegged out at 99. So I'm going to hit the gain, and it's a semi-automatic gain, which means it will adjust about 50% just to lower it so we have less signal coming in. So now I have less signal, and I know that this pipe is running out toward the road, which is facing that way. But I'm going to come over here. I'm going to lower that volume down. Now I'm pointing the antenna down so it's pegged out more. So I'm going to lower the gain down again, so about 50% signal. And I'm going to do a circle or a semicircle all the way around. So I picked up something there. Now I'm not picking up anything else. So I'm going to walk back around. Now, as you can hear, the receiver is picking up. And when I get out on the other side of this tree, I'll show you what the screen looks like. Of course, you can see that on the pavement it's already marked. And I'm looking for the highest number. Come over here and show them the screen. And so it's going down. Now it's going back up. Now it's going down. So it appears to me that probably the one call people slightly mismarked this line by a couple inches. So the best reading is right there. Now the gain's not all the way pegged out, so we're still good. So I'm going to hit the target and it's going to give us a depth. This unit will give us depth in either 512 or 8 kilohertz. 512 hertz or 8 kilohertz. and it's at 1 foot 9 inches. So I can pick the unit up. As the antenna gets further away from the line, it's going to have less signal coming to the receiver. Now I can walk, and as you can hear the instrument, it's still picking it up. And we'll do a locate right here again. And then I can just do the process all over again. I can check the depth, and it's 2 foot 1. And if I want to know the direction, I can spin the receiver. Let me spin it this way so the camera can get it better. And when it goes to the lowest point, which is about right there, that's the direction that tracer wire is running. Now, and then I can just walk around this vehicle and just keep walking. And this signal will go a good distance on this tracer wire. Notice I'm not swinging it like this. I'm holding the receiver pretty much straight down as I swing it. I'm going to show you how to take the VM560 pipe and cable locator and use it in the inductive mode. So this locator only has one inductive mode, which is 480 kilohertz. And so if you take the transmitter and I cut it on, it's going to be automatically in 480 kilohertz. Now we have a selection of, let me turn the volume down. We have a selection between low power and high power, but for this purpose, low power is going to be fine. Now I want to take this transmitter, and if you notice, we have the induction arrow. This is indicating the direction that we should place the transmitter over the cable. And they also give you some pictures here to indicate also the way you need to place it on the ground. So I'm going to take this transmitter now, and it has a coil in it. And right now it's broadcasting signal up in the air. And what we want to do is place it on the ground, over the top of the line, perpendicular to the line, so that it is applying signal to this tracer wire that's buried. So I'm going to take it, and I see that there's already some markings. I'm going to put it perpendicular. Now, once it's set up here, I'm going to take the receiver, and I'm going to turn the receiver on. And I need to make sure that it's going to be in the right frequency. So I'm going to hold, I notice that it's in 60 hertz. So I'm going to hold the target button down, and I'm going to move it to 480 kilohertz. Now I'm going to select it by pushing the target button again. I'm going to turn the volume off for a second. Now, we're really close to the transmitter right now, so there's a lot of signal coming into the receiver, and that's why it's at 99.9. But in the inductive mode, I need to be about at least 35 feet away. So I'm going to just walk down the line a little bit. And I'm not locating right now. Just walking. Now I'm going to just kind of look back, and I see that the transmitter is placed on the ground, and I'm about 35-40 feet away. Now if you look at the bar graph right now, it's still pegged out at 99.9, so I want to lower the gain, and now it's going to be a manageable signal. And as I move this receiver back and forth, you will see that signal go up and down. See how it's good? And now it's went up, now it's going down. And I'm looking for the highest number. So I saw about a 53. So right here is the best locate. Now in 480 hertz, so we don't get depth, but we can mark it, and now we can just continue to walk down the line. So I'm going to pick it up, and as I walk, I'm just going to swing the receiver. I'm going to turn the volume on so y'all can hear it. And as we get further away from the transmitter, the signal is going to drop down. And what we heard was that the volume went off because the signal got too weak. And so I'm going to hit the plus key one time, and it's going to increase that signal. So see watch how I hit it. And okay. And now we got a located signal here. So I can just continue to walk and trace this out. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at the information in the description below.